Hello, Team Absolution fans. It is I, the most accomplished member on this team, here to tell you about ARG Invitationals 2019. Please stick around.
How's it going, Team Absolution fans? We are here after ARG Nationals, wanting to give you guys a quick recap on what has happened. We had a great tournament this year. I was really happy with it. To give you guys some basic rundowns of what the tournament was like, we ended up having 129, I believe, people. This was all happening in Atlantic City, New Jersey for the first time. Usually it happens in Philadelphia. And we had 8 rounds of Swiss, cut to top 16. ARG always does cut to top 16 for their nationals. With a 5K prize pool. So first place, 2,000, and then scaling downwards from there. So I wanted to give you guys a quick summary of how we did, how the tournament went. Of course, spoiler alert, if you've been looking at our social media, this man right here did, in fact, super well. I think first things first, we're going to start with introductions, since we have a couple of new faces as well here on this video. Obviously, you know, myself and Ryan. But these next two people, going in order, we have...
Hello, my name is Franz. I probably haven't been on a video before.
No, you have not.
Oh,
a notable member of our Discord, of course, if you know our mod ship.
Yep, I am a mid-tier scrub.
Yes, basically. Him and I are constantly in the battle for who can bubble the most in tournaments.
And I might have the lead.
You might have just pulled ahead of me in this last one. But then, of course, at the end...
I am Brian, and I play Meat X.
Alright, awesome. So, I think we'll just kind of go in order, kind of like a panel sort of scenario, and we'll each talk about a little bit our matchups. We don't have to go into super detail, obviously, because it was 8 full rounds that I think we basically all played. But first things first, what deck did everyone play? I think we'll start with that. So I was on Bermuda Melody. I was not very happy about that thing because I played so many mirror matches this past weekend, but that's besides the point.
I played the same Kagero deck that I posted the deck profile on from ARG Summer Celebrations, so you can check that out in the recommended videos.
We should post another video for that. Just the exact same,
Just the exact same video.
Yeah.
Just with a different intro.
That's right.
I was also on Bermuda Triangle Melody. I made my own small brew to it. I also played a few mirror matches.
I play Brent, and win X6.
Alrighty. So, 2 thumbs
Well
up.
Not all,
Yeah,
not all
Brian.
heroes wear capes.
Exactly.
It's gotta be somebody, Brian.
So the tournament, I guess basic meta breakdown for the ARG. We had 129 people, and I would say, give or take, the meta was about 2/3 of Bermuda / Kagero.
Yes.
I mean, obviously it's going to be plus or minus some amount, but right around there, it was basically a very strong competitive field that we saw out there. There was, of course, some other decks that made it, but to give some perspective, we had in top 16, fully half, 8 of the players were Bermuda Triangle Melody decks. There was no Highlander, at least to my knowledge.
No.
And then there was 4 Kagero decks, so again, filling up exactly 2/3 of the meta there. And then 1 of 4 different decks, which were Murakumo, Great Nature, we had OTT, and the last deck was... what am I forgetting?
There was a brand.
There was a
And
brand.
a brand deck, yes, there we go.
Not me.
It was not, in fact,
X6 went top
with the X6 record. Yeah. God, that'd be a hell of a tournament, right?
Literally like 12 rounds, maybe like
10 out of
15.
standard.
Yeah, that's right. So, the 8 rounds, obviously, 3 of us did not top, so we can just talk about our 8 rounds. For myself, I played so many mirror matches yesterday. It was disgusting.
Do not envy you.
Yeah, it was so tiring by the time I was done. I ended up going X3, dropping in the final round, or before the final round, I guess, just because no X3s were going to make it, so I just wanted to take a break and chill out. Let me think. My matchups were fully 5 Bermuda decks, a OTT deck, and a Neodector deck, I believe it was. So it was just me running into the same deck all day, basically. Nothing super notable from what I remember from my games. It was just mash base, and then I won the majority of them and lost a couple. So there we go.
Sorry.
No,
I thought we were
Save
gonna-
best for last.
Yeah, that's absolutely, obviously. I also played 3 mirror matches. I played against 1 Neonectar. I played against 2 OTT, and then 1 Narukami, 1 Nova Grappler each. I personally went X2, Until the last round, I was sitting at table 10. I had to win for the possibility to bubble in, and I bubbled in at 17th.
Yeah.
For reasons. Also, a funny thing that happened is the last round, my name on the slip was always the top name the entire day, and at the end of the day, my brain was just off after another mirror match.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my opponent both checkmarked him as the win by accident.
Oh no.
And when the final pairings went up, they were wrong.
Yeah.
So everyone was happy. Braxton was 16th, and they were all happy. And I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
my score isn't right.
This was, to give a quick recap of the story, I'm going to put in an interruption, is that obviously there aren't all of our team members were here. We also had Braxton, who was playing, Andrew, Sixth Ranger, and Amanda. And Braxton ended up going X2 as well, and finished in 16th place on the first final standings sheet that gets put out. So he just barely squeaks into this tournament. He just
His
gets
first nationals top, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. This is his first major tournament. For how good he is, it's almost a
Yes.
crime that he
Yes.
has not topped more tournaments. So this is the first time Braxton just scrapes his way into top
Everyone's
16.
celebrating. It's all fun and games.
Yeah, that's right. And then Franz has the repair because of his, I don't know, it was 30th place or something like that.
It was in 30th place. I was like, wait, what? There were
Yeah.
that many X2s?
Yeah, like this was just not a possibility. Basically,
So we looked at my score. It was like 15 points. I was like, I should have 20, right? No, 18
should have
18 points.
Yeah.
I was like, and Josh.
Yeah.
So
So-
we went and fixed that, and then the repairings came out.
Yeah. And Braxton still makes it in
But-
at 16th place.
Like, to put it in perspective, I believe that the two main factors that go into the points at the very end was
Mhm.
like percentage of like who you beat,
yes.
like their win percentage
yeah.
and win percentage, and then all of your matches. So our opponents' win percentages were the same.
Yeah.
It
It
was
was like .004.
It was that was the win percentage for everything. So we were both 57%, and it came down to .002. That separated us from
Pretty tight
from
margin.
16th and 17th.
Pretty tight
It
margin.
was really rough.
Yeah.
And I was angry. I felt all the emotions, and overall though, I didn't feel like I misplayed much. I felt like I won all three of my mirror matches, which I'm very proud of.
Mhm.
But happens. Next year's a new year.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, I took Brand because I had the chance to play Bermuda, but if I'm going to lose, I want to lose in style. So I ended up
That's
taking
the way
Brand.
to go.
I think
First round, of all things with Shadows, I did extremely well round 1. Round 2, I got sacked so early. Round 3, I just bricked, and I lost. Second round, I didn't think I was going to make it because I got 2-0'd by Kagero, and the person tried to play around me by keeping all his heals and didn't mulligan in both of his games. He kept top
That's
checking,
awesome.
top checking. And
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
what's the
wow.
point anyway?
Don't harble the heels. Just keep your heels in hand.
Round 3, I ended up at the last table, table 64.
Mm.
I was like,
God.
at this point, why am I still playing? And of all things, it was the mirror. I had to use the biggest brain thinker and just play around my own self. And I don't know how I won because I ended up going for round 3, and I crit. He checked the heal, then just went to 7 damage immediately. Round 4, opponent didn't show up, so I got the 2-0. Round 5, I built the deck specifically for Bermudas.
We coming up.
I drew every single one of my techs and I finally faced it. After he checked his last drive after round 3, it was a heal. I thought it was at 5 damage and I thought I won, but he said, oh, it's 4 damage. And I took the loss.
Oh,
Then
you
from-
scooped up?
Yep.
You started scooping up your stuff?
Yes.
Oh, no, Toby!
Then from everything after that was just a complete. It was
Avalanche,
devastating.
avalanche.
Es un desastre.
I've seen so many shadows that match and played 10 out of the standard. After the entire day, I just wanted to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So that was and at the first national tournament experience, it was really great. Met so many different players, and next year I'm ready to go competitive.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is in my first round, I forgot to mention to you guys, is that I played Andrew.
Great time.
Yeah, for my first round, it was an amazing
Round
pairing.
1.
Yeah, to have this. And it was Bermuda v Bermuda with that, and Andrew ended up taking it against me because he is the better Bermuda player out of the two of us, since I've only been playing the deck for a very, very short amount of time. So I had
2
to...
weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Longer than that.
And yeah, so I had to rule the scrub bracket with an iron fist, and unfortunately lost out in round 7 because of that. But yeah, so then the man of the hour over here.
It me. I played against a lot of variety actually.
Mhm.
I might have the most varied bracket here. I played against, let's see, Angels, Neos. I played 1 Kagero Mirror towards the end. I think I played against 3 Bermudas, 1 OTT, and my last match was. No, that was top 16.
Token
Was there
on.
Brant?
I did play against 1 brand, yeah.
Yeah,
That was it.
yeah.
Alright, so, yep, my 8 rounds. I'll just cover each matchup really quick.
3 different decks. 3 BT mirror matches and 5 different decks.
Yeah. That's how it would be sometimes. Let's see. Angels, I got to go first. That helped a lot. Win die roll, win game. Managed to pressure out my opponent. Game 2, he just showed me double hospital with double live effect.
Ooh,
Double live
damn.
hospital.
You dead, boy. You
Yeah,
dead.
right? I'm like,
But dead back
game
to it.
3 it is,
Dead
sir.
Durgan. Dead
Yeah.
Durgan.
And game 3, I was able to go first again, and that really tends to help when you're playing helmet deck. So just strap in, go forward, attempt to pressure your opponent out of the game. They have no cards, they can't do anything. You kill them. So that was about my game plan, and that was how it was. Match 2 was Neos. I won 2-1 after some of the most hilarious hijinks I have ever seen in a Vanguard game. There's just simply so much stuff going on, and we went to time, and oh lord, and I managed to take it in game 3 because I got to go first. Win die roll, win game.
Win the die roll all the
The
time.
strongest thing you can do in standard right now.
Round 3, I faced Bermudas. I faced Jason Lee, who was the undefeated in Swiss. He got me in a tense game 3. I might have won the die roll. I don't know.
It's just like
Yeah.
at that point, it's 2 just good players
Yeah.
crashing into each other with 2 of the best decks in the format. It comes down to like who's checking the more triggers,
Mhm.
who had the better setup. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
So
both
this
sweating
happens.
bullets.
Yeah.
So I went X1, and then I just rode up from there. Yeah, just Bermudas, lots of those, tons and tons of Bermudas. I'm confident in the matchup. It's, it's probably about as much of 50-50 as you can get to, and your skill level and their skill level kind of dictates how it actually ends up. I would say, except for like incredibly skilled Bermuda players, like my top opponents, like my only 2 losses throughout this entire tournament were to the undefeated in Swiss and the guy who won the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, both incredibly skilled Bermuda players.
So that was actually my exact same record in last year's.
Yeah, last
it was
year's,
the
yeah.
undefeated and the
Exactly.
person that
Yep.
came second.
And
So
there you go.
feels bad.
Mhm.
So, both incredibly skilled Bermuda players. Anyone who wasn't as skilled as them, I felt pretty confident. And I was still confident going into them. They were winnable games. It was game 3 both times. So, I'm pretty confident in that matchup. Anything else? I guess the only other notable matchup was Kagero Mirror. Don't call your grade 1s. Just don't,
Why do you
unless
do
you're going in.
that? Why would you?
Control your opponent's Neoflames and hold your greats. Hold your greats, hold your Neoflames, because if you don't have those, your deck is bad.
Yep.
So make sure you have spaghetti and meatball, and you can go in and get that sauce out of your opponent.
It's a spicy sauce.
It's a spicy sauce. Tastes like iron. Again, only other relevant matchup was Brant. I drew 3 heals, just escaping all of the Brant
Nice.
punishment, both games. So that was super nice that I was able to just like avoid all of that. If I opened a heal in my opener both times. I'm like, that's what I like.
Stay here.
That's what I like.
Stay
I'm
right
just
here.
staying right here, exactly. So basically, draw your heals against Brant. You never have to worry. So just do that. Just get lucky and draw your heals.
Right.
You'll be just
Mhm.
fine. Then in top 16, that was this morning. I played in Great Nature. We practiced the night before. Practiced, proxied up the list, made the matchup.
Late.
Got the matchup data. It was very
We
late.
stayed
We
up
definitely
real
should
late.
have been sleeping, but the data was really helpful. If you're a
Yeah.
Kagero player playing into Great Nature, which you will be, because EBL7 coming, Excel 2 looking real scary.
They're so
Great Nature
real
is
scary
on
with
the
damn
come up.
scam, my guy.
Right? Yeah, so on the come up, gonna be big for Great Nature.
Kill
So
those tank mouses.
Kill Tank Mouse. He is the
Kill
most
it.
dangerous unit they have, despite the fact that they have 27k Geograph Giants.
27k Geograph Giants. They have a grade 1 that blocks 2 different types of guarding. They have Bino that can retire your thing and give things power.
They have
or
build-
draw a card.
They have the Build-A-Board workshop.
They have a
all
buildable,
of
yeah,
them.
exactly. And you're over here sniping a little 6k little
And
rodent.
it's the right play.
It's the right
Or
play.
they keep recurring PGs in your face until you can't do it anymore.
Like, as
You
soon
can't
as
win
they see a
anymore.
PG, they're like, oh well. I'm like, yoink that.
Yeah.
So the matchup data really helped. Because I was the higher seed, I finished 4th in Swiss. I got auto win die roll powers.
Nice.
So I got to
Yeah.
go first every time.
Wait,
Um,
both games?
No, I got to go first. Like, I always got to lead first.
Okay,
So,
okay.
like, I always get to decide
Oh,
first. And then I
okay,
get to
okay.
go first in game 3, which was necessary because we had a game 3.
Yeah.
And I won because I went first. That was very nice. And then top 8, I faced Bermuda, the guy who won the whole thing. I got to go first, pressured him out. No, he actually beat me game 1.
He did be a good one.
That was the tough part, is I lost game 1, it was tight. I don't think I saw a
You
great...
did see a second grade.
Yeah,
You had to
they-
rewrite. You had to write it first.
Yeah, I rode great first, wasn't able to reride. I took game 2, and game 3 he got to go first, and just a tight game. But
It was looking good.
yeah, I think he actually put me at a crit to win situation.
He did.
I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was-
so I mean that's Vanguard.
And then he went. And then I think was it crit for him?
Yeah,
it
he
was
was
a crit to win for him.
win.
Yeah,
And then he got it,
It was
yeah.
one to pass for me, and
Yeah.
So he got it. I didn't. Vanguardo time. That's
Vanguardo fight!
Vanguardo fight.
Mhm.
Yep. So only 2 losses to Bermuda, which is be different.
Understandable.
Yeah, very easily understandable. Could happen to anyone at any time, so that's totally fine. I'm very happy with my record. Took home $250 in a nice mat.
Hey.
So
That's right.
Is it nice?
that's what I'm telling my customers.
Yeah.
It's a nice mat. It's cloth. It says top 8 on it. You don't even want it.
That's all you need. Contact him.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
But overall, great weekend. Saw a bunch of friends. Got to connect with our sponsor, the Magic Satchel. Great guy. Recommend you
Waving
buy
behind
his
the camera.
cards, sleeves, deck boxes, cases, anything that Jose mentioned in the intro to this video. Perhaps he will make an appearance for us now. There he is, under the table.
I think
His sleeves, deck boxes, mats, cards, and anything you can need to play a card game.
I think I'd like to point out, we were talking with Ed about this, and apparently like ARG was just like doing this to see how it would go.
Oh, and for reference, Ed is the head judge, also a moderator on Vanguardians. If you guys don't know. So.
And like just us, like as players and people that came to this tournament, it flowed so well compared to Philly, because at any time you could just walk around and do whatever you wanted.
Yes.
And especially after the tournament yesterday, we were able to go out on the boardwalk, and there was so much stuff to do.
Yeah.
And then today, even after he lost, he could have been salty, but he was like, I got my $250, I don't care anyway.
Yeah.
So some of us were back to salt. So we
Cough.
cough.
But we went out. We went axe throwing. We went go karting.
It was a great time.
We got some drinks for the over 21s.
Mhm.
We got to chat and laugh and have a good time, just because you walk outside the venue and it's the unlimited fun of Atlantic City.
Yeah.
So that was
Warped Tour was also going on too, so there's
Yeah,
music
there was a
just
lot of
in
people.
the background.
Yeah.
all times.
For reference, the previous ARGs that have been in Philadelphia, like it's a large convention center that we go to, and it's perfectly acceptable. Like it's not that
Yeah,
there's
it's
anything
It's a
particularly
great center.
wrong.
It's a decent location. It's not too far from the airport. There's plenty
Yep.
of hotels. It was
Yeah,
a
and
perfectly functional venue.
Absolutely.
This was
Different.
logistically more difficult to get to
Yes.
because it's really
Mhm.
hard and expensive to fly in. But if you can get here, what a blast!
Yeah, it was fantastic. There was so many things. The fact that the venue had both food, easy access food
Was
within it, like
in a hotel. So
Yeah,
we could
that's right.
stay
And
there.
it was cheap too. Like,
Exactly.
It was pretty cheap.
yeah. So there was just so many positives that I could list for this tournament that I would highly recommend if ARG continues, and definitely
I
thumbs
would-
up from us,
I would go.
ARG.
I would 100% come back.
Is that if you guys did it again, we would be 100% backing it and would be back here again for next year. Yeah, I just thought it was fantastic to have it in this sort of location. I think another thing we could talk about a little bit was Team League, because I think that was some
Okay.
interesting
Yeah.
stories.
That was fun.
Yeah, so always before the ARG Invitational, or Nationals as we call it, is on Fridays they have a Team League scenario where it's basically a last chance qualifier, 3v3, to try to get an invite to play on Saturday. Let's say, you were out in the middle of nowhere and you had no ARGs near you, or you went to a couple and you just never got into the top 8, top
Or
16.
Braxton, you couldn't be bothered. You
Yeah,
couldn't
you couldn't be
bothered at all.
Capable of topping, and you have ARGs near you.
Yeah, exactly. And so Ryan and myself had to be good friends and put Braxton on our backs and try to bring him up into top, or to get a top so that he could, in fact, play in the Invitational that occurred this weekend. So it was only 4 rounds because there was 12 teams, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was 12 teams. So it was a little bit smaller than last year, actually. It was kind of unusual because the teams this year were smaller, but the actual event was larger. And then it was the reverse of the year before that, where the teams were larger and then the actual event was smaller. But we played 4 rounds. Personal records were X1, X2, and X1 on Braxton's side. We ended up finishing 4th. For whatever reason, they've cut to top 3 for store credit.
in my entire life.
Yeah, because teams is always and forever because we have top forward in teams before and gotten prize out, for doing that. But this was the one time that they decided, and we finished 4th because our X1 was slightly worse than the next team's X1.
Yeah.
So, sadness on that regard.
Bubbled out of a payout.
Yeah,
Bubbled out of
That's
payout.
right.
We tied one for one.
Yeah.
So me, Andrew, and Ken, we also played in that. We immediately when X2 dropped because we were playing just the memes. I think it was Narukami, Angel Feather, and Kagero. And I don't know why Andrew played Kagero.
Because he has it.
He just has it. You should play Novas.
Yeah.
You should play Novas. So it was just very funny and very bad at the same time. So we just we dropped. We let them go, we got some food, and then me and Andrew were on the boardwalk. We had a good time. That's all we needed.
But overall, awesome weekend. Great venue. Great performance by me.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, Brian. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
Great time with friends. Overall, great experience. Great hanging out with our sponsor, the Magic Satchel. Check them out for all your deck things.
Going through it all again one more time.
Why not?
Just play it. Just play it.
Just play it in the middle of the video.
In the middle of the video.
Yeah. I think one of the best things as well about these events, for myself at least, I don't want to speak for you guys, is that, apart from the tournament, that's always great, and you're here to top, that's the primary purpose, I think, of going to one of these things, is to actually do well. But, to see all the friends and everything else, and just like to hang out and have a good time, you're able to just chill, laugh, do whatever else. We got to meet so many people this year and catch up with so many people as well. Is just really what makes these events, like why I go to these at this point, I think, in my life, because it's not a whole lot of free time when you start to get older. Yeah. And even though I'm talking about that like I'm, like 45, 50 years old.
We're not young men anymore.
That's right.
30.
Got so many lumbar problems. But it's a really, really great time. And I would highly encourage anyone that if you do go out to something like this, definitely bring groups of friends, try to meet up with people.
Absolutely.
That's what makes it a good event. Aside from just the fact that you're here to compete, you definitely want to have people to interact with and to talk to and to kind of be, take the edge off all of this stuff that goes on.
It turns it from a fun tournament into a fun vacation.
Yes, exactly.
And that's a huge thing when you're playing a very competitive game, because there will be things that people will be angry about. There will be things where people are just really annoyed, and there'll be a lot of joy, and then people can clash, like one person celebrating, the other person
yeah, that's right.
So when all that can happen, and you can just go out, get some Indian food, and laugh for half an hour. It's just it's a great time, and I'm so happy we were able to all come together and hang out.
Definitely.
Especially if it's your first time going out to a national tournament, you get the experience and want to push yourself to, hey, maybe I also want to be on the top tables as well. And meeting all these other people and also playing with others and learning about their own experiences is what makes this worthwhile. I highly recommend it, especially for anyone that's just trying to get into the competitive environment. It is highly recommended.
Yeah, I think one thing as well about ARG Nationals as well, I would say specifically, is that I would say every year this is probably the most competitive tournament that I go to.
Probably.
The fact that it is usually, obviously it's smaller attendance than bushy events. I think that has just been kind of a thing since the beginning. But yeah, the fact that, as Franz here is gesturing, is best of 3 is gigantic to have at Vanguard. so that
It makes all the difference. If this wasn't best of 3, I don't think Kagero would be a top tier pick.
Nope.
No, definitely not. And I think that's why Bermuda has been so dominant in Japan, because it has so many best of 1 tournaments. The fact that you can actually play things out, that if game 1 you just get horrifically unlucky, like there was one game that I played in my rounds with Swiss where my opponent went first grade 1 ride, crit, second grade 2, crit, and then grade 3, crit, and I just died. There was nothing I could do about it.
In a Bushy tournament, especially in Bushy tournaments right now, like a lot of X1s just don't top, so that can happen. You'd be like, oh well, good job on your merry way. You get nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for coming all the way up, down, or all around to these Bushi tournaments.
Thanks for paying like $300. Thanks for paying $300 for our hotel. Thanks for coming in. Here's your complimentary gift bag.
In the promo.
Get out.
Yeah,
Free promo.
Go play free fight.
Yeah, fight. Yeah, and I think that it's a really hard atmosphere to play under. I find like it's definitely there's some really good players out there on the East Coast, and you really get to see them all kind of shine up. And, as you start to get the later rounds of Swiss and everything else. So I think it's a really great way to test yourselves, actually, to be honest, related to that. It kind of shows, obviously you can get vanguarded out of the game, and that's that, but it shows your level of skill and how well you played, because I made this critical error in game 1 that really lost me, or something like that. And it just, I think, helps you improve as a player and get better at Cardfight Vanguard in general. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any closing remarks, if there's anything else to say about this tournament. Mr. Kane?
My last one would be actually a big credit to ARG for constantly having, not to mention, putting us in a venue where there was constantly stuff to do, but also having activities, card game related activities, for us to do as well. At any point we wanted to drop, there were constant side events for their new game, Argent Saga, which we'll be looking into in the near future.
Very fun.
They had a $10,000 prize pool intro deck tournament today. 9 rounds.
200 plus people.
200 plus
that
people.
I might have played in if I wasn't tired, and it was 200 plus people.
If I had come in fresh and it was like, if this was the Saturday thing, totally would have played in that.
Yeah, the fact that we already did 8 rounds of Swiss.
I could not sit there for 9 more rounds.
Especially playing all today, with cut at some point.
That's right. They had 9 rounds of Swiss plus the cut to, was it 16 as well or 32?
I'm actually not sure.
I really hope it's not 32. Because that would be 5 more rounds.
Credit to them for constantly having stuff for us to do, and big credit to them. Everyone who got an invite was able to receive a free demo deck, whether they picked it up or not. So, everyone could now just play this new game, constantly engage with the events that were going on if they didn't want to go out on the boardwalk for some reason. So big credit to them for how well they ran the event. Judging was overall good. Players were overall competitive. And really just an overall great experience. Especially for me. Go me.
Yeah, I think we'll finish things up with just really quick shout-outs, I think, to all the people that we ended up seeing this weekend. Of course, ARG, Jim, the whole squad that is involved with that, for running the event, doing great systems-level administration for all of this. I think shout-outs to our boys, Ed, who is, as Franz was mentioning earlier, the moderator for Vanguardians and also the head judge for this event. Always, as ever, did a stellar job for judging us all.
Love his man.
Yeah, he's fantastic. His entire squad as well was there. Levi, Leo, Julia, Taylor. I don't know if I'm forgetting anyone now. I probably shouldn't have done this now because I'm going to forget people. People are going to be like, Keith, you forgot me. And I'm like, oh no.
Anyone who forgot to mention?
Yeah, that's right. At me and just rip me apart. Shout outs as well to Dominic Manilow. I think a lot of you are familiar from Vanguardians. He's a great guy, definitely. Do any sort of buying, trading with him. He's fantastic. Anyone else I need to be thinking of? Of course, the rest of our team. Shout outs to them for, driving up and driving back down. Andrew especially. The man is an absolute monster. And is always coming up. Oh yeah, that's right. Tyler's group. Faustus as well. And I actually know the name of the other one. That was with them. Their other teammate. Oops. Yeah, their other teammate that was with them as well. Shout outs to you, sir. I do not remember your name.
We didn't have much of a chance to hang out.
Yeah, we did not. I don't think I actually have a talk. So yeah. But yeah, shout outs to Tyler's group as well. Yeah, it was a really great event. You guys will probably hear more from us soon, related to other ARG
my
stuff.
deck profile.
Yeah, the same copy-pasted deck profile. We're going to actually have Braxton do his as well. Just
probably do Braxton.
Not bad to do.
Yeah, so that he has something for out there in relation to it. But yeah, with all of that said, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. We, as ever, had a great time at ARG. And yeah, we will see you guys on another recap video probably next year.
Yeah.
See you next time. Peace.
See ya.